Hello, fellow humans. This is Lots of Hope. Welcome to this episode of The Living Journey, where we escape and explore a life in an alternate universe. Before we start, please make sure you are in a safe space. Can and will do nothing but relax while you're listening. Thank you for your support. Now, let's decompress. Trapped. It's the last day of your relationship with your fiancé. You had decided to move out of the apartment today. The moving company will be here soon to remove all you had built together and move you to your new beginning. It's early in the morning. The light had just broken through the night. You had already woken up. After brushing your teeth, you stared at the engagement ring that you took off last night and didn't put them back on. You brewed a pot of coffee, made some eggs and bacon, then migrated to the window to relax and enjoy your last day of people watching in this first floor apartment. You remembered the first day when you moved in. You saw the old lady across the street. She waters her plants in the morning, wears bright flower dresses, reads magazines, books on the stairs, and she enjoys her smoke whenever she feels like it. It was such a relaxing and desirable image. Her carefree attitude made you dream to be as carefree and to unbend yourself from the societal expectations. Envious of her attitude, you moved into this place hoping to grow old like her. Like every Saturday morning, you looked at the clock on the wall. As you took your first sip of coffee from your large mug, you saw the old lady came out from her front door, wearing your favorite yellow daisy sundress, looking at ease and content. As she picked up her hose and was about to water plants, you heard your soon-to-be ex-fiancé walking into the kitchen, picking up some plates, grabbing the mug, pouring coffee, then adding some sugar into his coffee. When he finds you sitting by the window again, unlike in the past time, criticizing you for wasting time, looking at the old lady while doing nothing, he is quiet today. Unlike his heavy and angry footsteps, you can hear his anger and disappointment in the way he walks, seeming like there is nothing else to say, yet full of words and desires to tear each other apart. Either of you wins today. Only the floor gets the heavy punch. A bit later, you and your fiancé congregated in the living room. He folded up the sheets and comforter on the couch, something that he had almost always do when he gets up, even when you were sleeping in the same bed. Looking at his hands, you couldn't speak. You saw him still wearing the engagement ring. Being stunned, you couldn't help but moving your eyes away. Staring at the 6 boxes of your belongings, you couldn't help but wonder how your past 10 years can just be fitted into them. I'm surprised that you have so little stuff. Packing up your stuff around the apartment, it only feels like the room is still almost the same, he said. Looking around the room, you feel the sadness is surrounding you. The empty spaces, the counter where your single most precious achievement award trophy used to stand, the corner where your piles of coffee table books used to sit, and the half-empty shoe shelf. All just reminds you that this place is no longer your home. You know, it's not that many boxes. I can move your stuff with you, he joked. Be the last thing we do together. I don't think we should owe each other any more favors, you rejected. And I didn't realize that I have so little stuff, he said, sitting on the couch that you picked with him. You feel the sadness floods your heart. Couldn't stand the silence and the feeling of loss. You decided to walk out for some fresh air. I'm going to see if the moving company is here yet. As you walk directly towards the door, you grabbed your phone and keys. Just as you are about to walk out of the door disappeared in front of your eyes. The frame of the door melted away. The door itself mixed into the wall. The wall squeezed out of the metal hinges, and the doorknob falls with the hinges. In disbelief, you dropped your phone and keys, along with the sound of metals dropping. The mess caused a series of chaotic bangs on the ground. Hearing the loud noise, your fiancé ran towards you with his rushing steps. As soon as he arrives, he was stunned, almost as stunned as you were. After a moment of silence, you walked forward cautiously. The room was as quiet as the deep ocean. Only the creaking sound of the wooden floor breaking the silence. Standing before the wall, where the door used to be, you couldn't help but covering your mouth with your hands, almost like you need all the assistance to holding all your organs. Knocking on the wall, listening to your fingers interacting with the wall, and then turning around to knock on the other walls. You couldn't believe your eyes and ears. As you turned around to ask your fiancé, doesn't it all sound the same? You were in doubt. He was confused, shook his head in disbelief, and replied to you, they all sound the same. You quickly recollected yourself, starting to walk out of the hallway. Your fiancé turned around and tacitly walks with you. He walks towards the bedroom, and you walk towards the kitchen, going towards the window, where you were just sitting and people watching. The window is locked. You did your best to twist open the old metal closure. Just as you heard the sound of the latch snapping off, unlocking the window, you felt a second of relief. Breathing in deeply, then putting your fingers on the window. As you try to push the window up and open, you realize it was shut. So tightly that you cannot move an inch. In fact, not even a wiggle. You started to panic. The fear of the window turning into a solid wall scared the bejesus out of you. Holding onto the small lip on the window, you took another deep breath. As your tight grip on the small lip slips off your fingertips, you felt a slight burn on your fingertips. The old window frame scratched you, leaving small but uncomfortable injuries. Within seconds, an even stronger fear attacks you. Fearing of being trapped in this apartment forever. No matter how much you love this apartment, being in the room with him, in complete silence, knocked you out of all the chance to stay calm and think. Looking around the room, realizing there is a tool bag and a meat tenderizer mallet in the kitchen, you urgently rush towards the kitchen, hearing your own footsteps banging on the floor mixed in with another familiar running step sound. Before you can think or stop, you strike your body onto your fiancé. You two are like titans of Transformers, clashing against each other, running at the same speed, hitting your right shoulder on his chest. As you land, your left ankle got twisted, and your right hand and hip slammed onto the floor. It was so painful that all your muscles contract, the body tightens, seeming to be gathering all the hurts and containing the damages. But the pain was not only physical, almost like your heart that's made out of crystal fell on the ground from the top of a skyscraper, shattered into pieces. As soon as your muscles and brain failed to contain the injury, the groaning echoes in the hall, the kitchen, the living room, and your bedroom. But without a door, the sound of your pain echoes around, mixing in his trauma with yours. You and him roll on the ground, barely able to get up. Not sure how long after the near fatal crash, by the time you feel better and sit up, you see him sitting in a similar posture as you shake your right aching hand, trying to allow the blood flow to re-enter your hand. He holds his hand on his chest with the whole upper body leaning on the corner of the wall. You look at his face. You both shake your heads in unison, as if you are telling each other how much of a match that you are, and how bad of a collision that you are. He looks at you, knowing that you are thinking the exact same thoughts. He laughs, shakes his head, and tries to stand up, but his glutes hurt. He seems to have landed on his cute little butt. "Are you okay?" you asked. He says, "Yes. You cannot open the windows either?" You reply to him, "Yeah." Then showing your damaged fingertips, coincidentally, he injured his fingers in the exact same way that you did. You did your best to stand up. As you limp towards the tool bag and the meat tenderizer, he gathers all of his energy to get up. With a painful sigh, he stands up and walks towards you. As you found the mallets in the utensil drawer and the tool bag, you hand the hammer from the tool bag to your fiancée, and you dragged your whole body back towards the window. A short distance, but it took you a long time to walk, feeling so tired and hurt. As soon as you reach the window, looking at all the people walking by freely, you feel even more desperate. A group of teenagers walking by, chatting to each other, and you heard what they are saying. A kid hears the joke, laughs so loudly. The laugh is just loud enough to break you out of the hesitation, raising your arm with the meat tenderizer, slamming the window with all your energy. Yet the window is still intact, even with its fragile look. The glass has determined to lock you in. In anger, full of desperation, you used up almost all of your leftover energy to slam the glasses even more and even harder. But the window is still not budging. You feel so exhausted. Even your fingers lose the strength, and the meat tenderizer drops on your already limping foot. You are not sure if you screamed, but you heard the metal hitting on your bones, metal bouncing off your foot, then landing on the floor, and the sound of your fiancé asking what is going on. Trying to distract yourself from the pain, you close your eyes and shake your head, hopelessly wishing for the wound to not register in the brain. Suddenly you hear the truck stopping by the window. Looking out to the window, you see the moving company that you had ordered just arrived. Like finding a lifeboat while you are floating in the middle of the ocean, you start to call your fiancé to go to the wall where the front door used to be. "The moving company is here. Go to the front door." As you hear the truck park, 3 guys get down from the truck. You can hear them chatting. One of the guys that you had spoken to yesterday says, "I was told there are only 6 boxes and it's already paid and tipped. Good customer." You haven't felt so excited in your whole life, hearing the stranger talking about you. "I'm in here," you shout out hysterically, slapping your hands on the window, begging for them to hear you. But as if you are slapping on the TV, the actors on the screen cannot hear your misery. The guys walks into your apartment entrance without acknowledging you. You picked yourself up, doing your best to walk towards the front door as you limp with so much agony. Another short distance that took you almost forever to reach. By the time you reached the hall, your fiancé had leaned his back against the wall, with his fist banging on the wall where the wooden door used to be, just an hour ago, or maybe forever ago. They cannot hear us. No one can. We are trapped. He speaks with so much suffering and exhaustion. You cannot engage his eyes. They are filled with so much sorrow. So you look down, seeing your phone laying on the ground, like finding the last drop of water in the desert. You leaped forward, forgetting about your damaged foot. You lose your balance, and you hit your other good hand on the floor, delivering all your body weight onto the hand, almost mingling it off. Hurting so much in this relationship with a person that you love so very much. But it's all the timing and failure of compromising in the daily communication that killed the hope of you growing old together. We might die here. He sees your injuries, feeling so incapacitated, and says, I'm sorry that we are not right together. The phone doesn't work. You didn't respond to his apology, just trying desperately to dial the phone with your nose. As you're giving up the last hope, you continued. And it's not your fault. We are trapped here because we both made the decision for us to be trapped. So we need to get over each other, together, to unbind us. He hears you, giving up banging on the wall with his fist. As you both hear the moving company leaving in confusion, he slides down the wall like a winter jacket falls off the hanger. He sighs in so much stress, takes the engagement ring off his bloody fingers. You open your mouth. I love you. I'm sorry. We are not fit for each other. You finally used up all your energies to say the last word out loud. Not sure how long you have been trapped. You just know that you are so very drained, both emotionally and physically. You fall asleep. It was a comfortable and recovering rest. All the sweet moments appeared in your mind. The day you and him met, like a carefully scripted rom-com meet-cute. Then, your worst frenemy's wedding. Then, not so familiar work friend's wedding. Finally, you met again and again in each other's best friend's wedding. You two had so much fun, finishing up each other's sentences, talking about your lives and future together. All the sweetness accompanied with all the bickering about spending, vacation plans, and how the plans for your future children should be in the day-to-day life. Teeny tiny decisions. All the love and patience got rotten away. Tears and passion tapped out before you grew old together. With no sadness, no sorrow in your heart, you woke up from the floor with just a bit of numbness in your hand from sleeping your whole body on it. All the injuries had magically recovered. Reaching out to your phone like every morning, you realized that your battery had died. You quickly looked up towards the front door. Your fiancé had just woken up, leaning against the wooden front door, with his engagement ring on the side of his legs. Realizing the door had just returned, you both quickly got up and he opened the door. A fresh wave of air floods into the hallway, sending the ring flying far, far away. Being stunned, you both reluctantly laughed. It sounds feeble, yet hopeful. Looks like we can finally get out, he says. The moving company have left, so I guess we are moving you out? and it's going to be the last thing we do together. You smiled and said to him, "Let me get a box to hold the door. I don't want to be trapped with you again." That's all for this episode of The Living Journey. I truly am grateful for your time. Feel free to leave your reviews. Please like, follow, or subscribe to share this show so we can grow together. Until next time, lots of hope. Signing out.